everybody, welcome into the Fallout Shelter. How's everybody doing? Right off the bat, it looks like my volume's got a little issue. Let me fix that real quick. I keep getting these crazy updates for Microsoft Windows, and every time I do, it resets every setting that I have in my OBS for some reason. And when I come to YouTube, it's a little different setup. So, getting to it. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, everybody. Now we ought to be a little bit better and I won't have to scream. Hope everybody's having a good night. Welcome into the Fallout Shelter. Would like to welcome in Meredith Wilson, Kirk Marlowe, Trevelyan, John Boy, People's Last Stand, Mad Jeeper, New Hampshire. I think that's the NH. Good to see all you guys. Love Pugs. Mike D. Good to see all of y'all. Glad you're all here. The volume should be coming up. I just got the settings redone and it should be popping up now. World Guardian, good to see all of you. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen as soon as I seen the number down there. For some reason, that keeps resetting on me. Deidre, Tara, good to see all of you. Not going to be a whole lot of research here. I just want to show y'all exactly what's going on at this moment. From my opinion, Joe Shields from Boston, good to see you. Michael White, all of y'all coming in. Deidre, appreciate all y'all hanging out with me on a Friday night. What's your prob from California? Good to see all of you guys. Okay, listen, I've been streaming a couple of nights a week at DLive. I've been a little low. But anyway, here's what's going on. We're in the middle of a huge experiment. Mike Decker, good to see you, man. Welcome in, brother. No Spin Bear. Spirit Hill, glad you're Deaf Bread. All welcoming in. Welcome to see you. Let me tell you. Okay. I'm going to have to get away from chat or I'll never get going. It happens to me that way. All right, everybody. Let me just go straight to screen sharing because I was fixing to start reading. These are articles from physics.org. This is the science community. They also have medical and business community. I really love this website. Usually the news that comes out here, if you do see it in the mainstream, it's usually buried later because it's almost like they use this toying with people because they know we don't read it. Anyway, we're in the middle of a huge experiment, and I shall show you that we're in the middle of a huge experiment. Now, first and foremost, I want to go over this right here. This came out on March the 18th. Expendable employee. Oh, this came out on March the 18th. I want you to pay attention. It's a picture of a woman wearing a mask holding toilet paper. And it says, will people do as they're told? I'm going to take a sip of coffee because I don't really know what to say. Look, I believe that COVID-19 is basically brought about for Experiment 20, which will be the intro into the final nail of Agenda 21. The UK government is currently asking people to limit non-essential contact travel, blah, 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 the same thing from all over the world. What does behavioral science tell us about whether people comply with measures that are not compulsory? Listen. I agree. That's what I was saying. The toilet paper, they tricked everybody into buying the toilet paper because they were feeding them a line of crap. Okay. Now listen, I'm not going to say that there's not a real cold going around. It goes around every year. And from what I can tell, if I'm looking at the numbers from viruses that kill people, or no, wait a minute, from viruses that attack people's immune systems and exploit their illnesses they already have that they die from, we're actually having a pretty good year. Number-wise, I'm just saying number-wise. Don't get me in my words, because we are definitely in the middle of a huge pandemic, and it's called this right here. It's called the propaganda machine that we used to call the news. What does behavioral science tell us about people complying with measures that are not compulsory? If you appeal to people's sense of doing the right thing, they tend to do it. Pay attention, y'all. This is them with your mind. With your mind. If you appeal to people's sense of doing the right thing. Now, what's funny, these people always are, she's a behavioral economics research from non-pandemic context suggests that making behaviors a moral duty will be effective. A moral duty. You know, kind of like getting your kids stuck in the arm every year that goes by and there's something new. And now you and your grandparents and your dog and your cat, and you're going to have to vaccinate your cows or you're not going to be able to have any meat from them. Oh, well, don't worry. We've already took care of that. We flooded them out, washed them down the rivers. We burnt the rest that were left because, I don't know, they might have had a cold. And now we're just going to grow it all in a lab and you don't got to worry about it. I do remember that. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, and listen to me, people. I'm telling you how I feel about this with it affecting my life greatly. My mother lives in an assisted living facility, and she had an accident the other day that she had to go get a couple of stitches for. Well, now she's been to the hospital, which puts her in quarantine where she lives. Well, I work around people. I can't go around there. Her normal personal assistant also works around people in her other job. They can't go around it. Well, I've had to go to work every day because nobody shut anything down in Mississippi until today. In Meridian, I noticed that the first buildings were starting to have people outside, and I refused to go shop in them and all that. I almost got myself in trouble. But anyway, long story short, people will do what they told if they think they have a moral duty. So they propagate this with all of the propaganda, and now they're turning it around and telling you. So, okay, oh yeah. With everything, thank you for that. She's been going nuts with this too. So anyway, but I'm dealing with that, all right? When I picked her up from the hospital, there was no rush. There was no craziness. There was no masks. There were no gloves. And I'm serious. These people the nurse walked her out of the hospital in a chair, no gloves, no mask, helped me get her up in the van, the truck. And I looked at her and I said, what, y'all aren't scared that the coronavirus was going to get everybody? And, she said, honey, I've been battling the common cold for 20 years, and people that are old die every year. It's no different. People are making a big deal out of nothing. And I said, okay, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm a contractor as well. I don't know why I'm an essential. We don't have a problem in here yet. I expect us to see it in these counties, rural counties, starting next week. And I tell y'all why. It's because the numbers thing. They start you out with a couple of numbers in a town or a city, and they start shutting places down early. Like, I don't know, viruses can't travel after 9 p.m. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so between 9 and, say, 7 in the morning, the virus shuts down, so we shut down. All right. Now, we open back up in the morning, and we have a lady sitting outside of a business. Let's call it a Best Buy. Okay? And a customer walks up. And they meet you and they don't really obey the 6-foot rule, which I don't care. I'm not for the 6-foot rule. I think it's a joke. You get where I'm going with this story. Anyway, they walk up and they go, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I need a mic. A what? I said, you got a microphone in there I want to buy. And I said, but you got 2 or 3 different ones and I want to pick one out. Well, you'll have to use the app and pick it. And I'll go in and get it and bring it out to you. And then we'll basically take your card or money back inside, ring it out and bring you your change. And you don't go in the door. And I said, so you're closed? Oh, no, we're not closed. I said, yeah, you're closed. I can't go in there and shop. I said, I want to pick a microphone based on maybe you having a mount in there that I want to use. I said, and I would choose a different microphone if you had a different mount. I said, I can't choose all that on the app. I said, so you're closed to me. He said, well, I said, look, if I was going to order it online, I would go home, order it online, and have it shipped to my house if I didn't care what I was looking at. I said, therefore, if you really seen what was going on, you would realize you're telling everybody to go buy it online, have it shipped to their house, and you won't have a job when all this is over with. And he looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, if everybody buys online and quits coming into the store, what are you going to do for a living? Well, I ain't thought about it. Nobody ever does. You just do what you're told. Because people do as they're told. Now, in my life, I've had great trouble and tribulation because I will not do as I'm told. Ask my father, ask my mother, ask my wife, ask the cops. I've never been real good at following instructions. I know my Father in heaven was not happy with me for many, 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 many years. I missed something in chat, but it looks like y'all have a great chat going, so I kind of been staying out of it. So yeah, absolutely people will do as they're told. Now, let's skip on past this, and then I want to show y'all some patents before we leave out of here after a while. Here's part of the experiment right here. Is this the moment for universal basic income? Let me tell you something. If you think Mr. Trump is the one who's going to fix all of this, and you think that Bernie Sanders and a crazy Cortez are nutbags for introducing socialism and free everything, and there's no way they can do that, and you're praising Trump for the job he's doing right now, well, let me tell you, you are a conservative sheep backing the man that is going to introduce socialism to the United States of America because he's the great actor that he is. Push it down people's throats, and when the conservatives take it, it's just, it's because they buy, I guess they drink the Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? Let me tell y'all a little story that I heard about sheep the other day. I think I tell this on DLive quite regularly, probably more than they want to hear. Oh, speaking of which, this is my normal stream time. I usually stream at DLive at this time. The link is in the description below. And I'm going to stream after this on DLive because I can play music and we can just have some fun. I'm probably not going to really do news over there. Just going to play some music, talk a little bit. But anyway, just letting y'all know, normally stream at DLive. I don't like the restreaming thing because, quite frankly, I try to pay attention to both of them and it jacks me up. So I don't deal with that. Now, until now, universal basic income, a concept that will give all members of society an unconditional guaranteed cash payment, has received limited attention among U.S. policymakers, but the coronavirus pandemic, I know it's YouTube, but they kiss my rump. I'm going to say what it is, how it is, because I'm not monetized, not ever going to be, and that's just, I get to do what I want to do. If they want to, whatever. I have fun at the other place we stream at, just letting y'all know. Has received limited attention among U.S. policymakers. Well, now we've passed that, and we have all types of crazy stuff in that budget that has absolutely nothing to do with even sending you money. We're going to bail out all the companies. We're going to bail out all of the airlines. We're going to bail out everything, but we're also going to bail out all these little obscure things that have absolutely nothing to do with this. Let me tell you, a bailout of any kind is socialism. Listen, if you take this check, and I know most people are going to, and I know a lot of people are going to and never say they did, talk about how bad it was while it deposited in their account. Well, you got to do what you got to do for your family. That's just what it comes down to in this day and age. But if you take this check, you buy into the fact that you can't take care of yourself. Now, if you've been a truther, a realist, a news person for any amount of time, and you've known about Agenda 21, you've all known this was coming. It's sustainability. It's about energy. It's about control. It's about the power. And it's about money in the end, because the sustainability is about profit over what's actually going out. Like on energy, the thing about energy is you have to get more coming out than you do coming in. If they can put us into these cities, that's more control they have over all of the other land that allows them to do everything they want to do with it. Right now, I heard it earlier. I think it was Nicholson 1968 that said it. I seen part of that stream. He said it's like when he wants a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The first step of that is he has to go to the store and get peanut butter and jelly and bread and have it on the shelf. And then later, when he's ready, he can quickly make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Right now, they are putting the, oh my bad, they are putting the, that's crazy. Why does that happen? Oh, see, that was odd. That was very odd. The volume just went, it went back to a 0 dB. Oh, ventilator, Great Awakening in the Gematria calculator. I have no idea what that is. I'm not that smart on the Gematria. Okay. All right, now we're talking about universal basic income. This was on March 25th. What else do we got? All of these links from physics.org are in the description. Yeah, I don't know why my volume did that. Just all of a sudden, my dB set went back flat. But anyway, yeah, I need that mic. That's why I was walking in to get it. I shouldn't have to, with a better mic, I could adjust it on the mic and not have to deal with all this. But anyway, coronavirus fallout revives talk of universal basic income. This is on March 25th. So you got two stories come out about universal basic income on the same day from physics.org. Now, when you go to there, it's under other sciences. So they consider this like social science. The scoffed at idea of paying everyone a basic income as machines take people's jobs is getting a fresh look as a possible remedy for economies cratered by the coronavirus pandemic. Lambasted until recently as too costly or too socialist, paying people for simply being alive and trusting they will be productive as new support as jobs vanish. The massive recovery package being considered in the U.S. Congress to offset the tremendous hit to the economy would move a step closer toward the idea of universal basic income. Okay, that's universal basic income. Now, look at here, March 23rd, coronavirus, rationing based on health, equity, and decency now needed, food system expert says. Food security is no laughing matter at the best of times, but I gasped when I first read the Department for Environment, Food, and Rural Affairs Annual Food Civil Contingencies Infrastructure Report in 2018. It is barely a page long, in public at least, and assures us everything is okay and the food system is resilient and able to withstand shocks. We all know better than that. We've seen the flooding that took the corn out. We've seen the flooding that took the cows out. We've been knowing that this was coming, and it's all been leading the pieces of the puzzle that we've all been looking for. The puzzle is Agenda 21, period. The whole puzzle right now is Agenda 21. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they've missed that. They're headed on to Agenda 30. No, Agenda 21 is right on track. Agenda 30 is already started because they're putting their pieces in place. They're putting their peanut butter and their jelly and their bread in the cabinet, because after they pull all of this together in 21, 9 years is probably going to be pretty rough when they're trying to do this together. Now, Agenda 2030 is going to be completely about getting a digital ID in everybody over that decade in the world. ID 2020's Real ID, which has been postponed by President Trump in the states it was going to be required in by October 20th because of the coronavirus. The food system is fixing to be tested and shocked. Listen, we're not going to run out of food completely. It's probably going to get expensive, but you can still purchase groceries here with no problem. You can purchase toilet paper in central Mississippi. You can purchase anything else. Now, I know it's different around the rest of the country. I'm not speaking to the rest of the country. I'm speaking to, I don't understand why we aren't being treated exactly like the rest of the country. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand if this is a pandemic, why if it's a pandemic in New Jersey, it's not a pandemic in Mississippi. If it's a pandemic in California, why is it not a pandemic in Alabama? You understand what I'm saying? Why? Or it's because of this. When you start to get ready to lock a place down or be in place to lock a place down, you're going to put pieces in place. Now, I think they thought they would get some pushback here. And let me show you. They use this word over and over and over. A really big experiment. Parent turn teachers in mid-virus. Teachers brave digital classrooms as coronavirus closes schools. See, sustainability is about you taking up less energy and them being able to charge you more of whatever the currency of that time period is for it. Okay, let me show you here. First and foremost, pandemics don't heal divisions, they reveal them. The first thing they do is they show you how this big problem here can separate people. So, if we're separating people, we already understand that that is the way of the enemy. Number one, if we can't come together on something we agree on, we will never be able to have a discussion on something we disagree on. If I meet somebody and the first thing we talk about, we have a horrible disagreement on, we're never going to be friends. But if I meet somebody and we search around and find a common ground, okay, hey, we both like fishing. Okay, what kind of fishing do you like? We talk about fishing for a long time, develop a relationship, and then you can more or less, even if you argue about it, you can argue as friends over it and not leave as enemies. Now, we're supposed to be able to disagree with one another and still be able to learn from it. That's what a conversation is. I'm sure tons of people disagree with me. Luckily, I'm at a point in my life where I don't care. So, experiment. Let's see, I showed you how teachers are using technology to keep in touch with students. Online schooling, online college. It hit me. Oh my gosh, I know how the socialists are going to give school to everybody for free. They're not going to go to school. They're going to do it from home. That's how college is free for everybody. There are no costs inferred for the students going. So, Agenda 21 is sustainability. Remember that. It's about energy. It's about compacting. And it is absolutely about depopulating. Now, but let me show you how they talk about their depopulation. Listen, these articles are in the mainstream news, MSN. I don't have the links up there for them. You can find these articles by clicking on MSN. Who lives and who dies? In worst case coronavirus scenario, ethics guide choice on who gets care. So, remember those death panels that are not going to exist? Remember when you're insurance was all turned over to the government, and there's never going to be a panel to decide if grandma dies or gets the shot to make her more comfortable or if we give her the treatment. That's not going to exist. This is America. Well, let me tell you what. This is America today. It's a scenario few healthcare leaders want to contemplate, much less discuss. What if the ranks of desperately ill patients overwhelm the nation's ability to care for them? From the cold. From the common cold, people. Coronavirus. And if it's not the cold, then it's not a coronavirus. It's a freaking bioweapon. And they're lying about what the name of it is. How about that? Now, they call it whatever they want. We'll never know. We just have to go off what we can get in information. You know what let me show you two more things, and then I'm going to tell you. I've showed you the news. I've showed you the propaganda, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Opinions. A viral plea to let grandparents sacrifice themselves captures a truth about Trump. Well, they turn that right around and try to make that a political division and a division about grandparents sacrificing a viral plea. Listen to the wording of this. A viral plea to let grandparents sacrifice themselves captures the truth about Trump. Man, this is that crap where they try to put, it's not political. If it was something real and it was a real virus, a real pandemic virus that was spreading like wildfire, we'd all be locked down and the mail would have quit running first and foremost. I keep asking people, hey, do you get your mail? Yeah, do you Lysol it? Well, no, do you know where it's been? It's probably been more places than anywhere else you could have been. But the mail's still running, no problem, up and down the roads. Everybody's getting their bills. Oh! A viral plea to let grandparents sacrifice. Sacrifice. So now you are sacrificing. You are making a difference if you let yourself die. And another one that was along the same lines. Let people die during the coronavirus crisis to save the economy. That's crazy. But yet they print that tag for everybody to see. I think, now I'm not going to read these articles, but I will show y'all some, excuse me, dang coronavirus. Pink eye may be a rare symptom of coronavirus. How do you have a rare symptom of a virus that just showed up 3 months ago? It's not a rare virus. How do you have rare symptoms of a rare virus? Huh? So now everybody that's got pink eye has got the coronavirus. I wouldn't go in. I told them I do not comply. I don't consent. I'm not going in. I want that microphone. If I have to order it, I'll order it online. Now I'm thinking seriously about going to the gaming store and getting a good gaming headset with a very good microphone. That's what my kid said I should do. He said those mics are as good as the streaming mics. I don't know. We'll see. I got a feeling we'll probably be locked down next week. And if we are, then I'll probably try to do a lot of streaming and I'll finally get to all of my electromagnetic stuff. Okay, let's see what all else was up here. Oh yeah, listen. On the serious note, I think we should all be on the watch out for a big FF. You know, a big false flag. Because ABC News has already put out the warning, a little bit of predictive programming, a little bit of let's go ahead and get the sheeple lined up so that when they see this, it's not a shock. A Department of Homeland Security memo sent to law enforcement officials around the country warns that violent extremists could seek to take advantage of the COVID-19 pandemic by carrying out attacks against the United States. Homeland Security warns terrorists may exploit COVID-19 pandemic. Really? I think ABC's telling us right there to be on the lookout for a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack of some kind with a COVID-19. You know, somebody's going to attack us with the common cold. You know, like maybe China. Now, let me tell y'all, every day I've been going about my life because, well, you have to when you have to. work, things that I was having to do, you have to keep going and do them. Now, I'm not around a lot of people, and I've really kept myself away from people and took care of little jobs and things that were, out in the country, and which I like to do anyway. And I have taken time lately. There's no freak out. There's no fear. I have children and a wife, so we have a couple of plans. But right now, with the way it looks, we are in our home, in our bunker at home, and that's the way we're planning to take care. Now, I have a plan in place. Should it get to look a little shady, where I can probably be at my closest woods location in 20 minutes, an hour and a half if we have to hit woods and go through that way. Now, see, but we have plans in place. We live every day like our normal life with those little plans in place and adding to those little plans daily and things like that. I've believed Agenda 21 was real since 1992 when they wrote it. I've lived my life knowing about it, deep in the country because of things like it. Main reason I never went out and ventured into the other places. Kind of like the shelter that's down here in Mississippi. We are very sheltered, whether people want to believe it or not. There's a ton that goes on in the world, I've learned after coming to YouTube and learning from all of y'all what's going on in places that just don't go on here. So, Homeland Security, warning about this. I think you probably need to watch out for that one. I think this was a warning. If I'm not mistaken, when it first come up, all the dates and time had some numerical content, but I have forgot about it now because I'm just now getting to the YouTube stream. I did this over on DLive already. Bill Gates on the coronavirus, we need to shut down. That was 3 days ago. I have some Bill Gates things that I stream nightly on the DLive thing over there. I don't know if they do any copyright stuff over here or not, so I don't have it loaded up right now. I loaded up quickly for this. Dow jumps 1,300 points in biggest 3-day surge since 1931. Look, I'm not sure, but there's a lot of 13s, 3s on that page. You know what I mean? Doctors say loss of sense of smell might be COVID-19 symptom because, well, now it just attacks the olfactory glands and makes them not work at all. As the first coronavirus vaccine human trials begin, manufacturer is already preparing to scale production to millions. To millions. FEMA, Defense Production Act, no longer needed to secure thousands of test kits. I'm not going, we're already... Oh, now this is interesting to me. President Trump called himself a wartime president, and he also has said that he was the president over the war on climate change, I believe, even though he said he didn't agree with climate change, which is probably one of the smarter things he said. Don't even realize why. Well, maybe he does. He might understand about climate control now. Maybe he found out about that. Anyway, said he's a wartime president over this virus. Now, I'll get to that in a minute. Only war has canceled the Olympics. It happened, my little cursor quit moving. It happened in 1916 in Berlin, 1940 in Tokyo, and London in 1944. So, are we at war now? Yeah, elitist issue. I agree kind of with that. And I'm going to tell y'all something else. I'm a poor country boy. Usually when the economy bottoms out and does nuts, if we can survive however long we have to go through the struggle, usually on the other end of it, it's exactly the same for us poor country boys. Now listen, I'm not saying this isn't bad. We're in a position where our country's being locked down and the citizens are inviting it and they're letting the military surround them. And I believe with the experiment that's going on, they're like, really? Nothing? Yeah, there's 4 or 5 people on YouTube that are screaming about this. Well, none of this matters to me, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I'll get to that in just 1 second. I'll tell y'all why, because I do the same thing at DLive. I'm going to explain it here for the nighttime audience. A vast and contingent network of facial recognition cameras watching over Moscow. More surveillance. That's absolutely something that comes with this. More surveillance, more boot on the throat. We all know that's coming. No, we're not all going to die from this. We're just going to lose more civil liberty, more freedom, and the way that we live life is going to change forever right now. And I don't mean to be fearful. This isn't a fear tactic. I mean, it's got to be that way. That's the Trump postponing the deadline on the Real ID. That's about vaccine stuff. I haven't paid attention to that. Now, India, day one day ago, had the world's largest lockdown. I find it funny they continue to use the words lockdown. I like that song by Petra. I play some Petra over on DLive, guys. I have a couple in my program thing here. World's largest lockdown. I find it funny that they use the term lockdown. Lockdown is a prison term. I think by using the term lockdown in the mainstream news, they are desensitizing the people, the sheep. They are programming the sheep to be prisoners in their own home. Willingly. Slaves without chains. Now, I'm hard-headed. I don't consent. I can't do that. And then that leads back to the pink eye thing there, and that done that up right there. Oh, let people die to save the coronavirus. Listen, Father does not give us a spirit of fear. Those of us, I believe this with all my heart, that go to the Father through Christ, we are the church. It's not in a building, which most of them I'm ashamed of that they're closing. Oh, I have actually paid tons of attention to vaccines. I hadn't paid attention to that article. If you go back and look at my older videos, I actually have material safety data sheets for thimerosal. If the churches have so much power, I'm really kind of ashamed that they closed their doors so willingly when they were asked, because, you know, I always was told as a child, at what point do you break man's law to follow God's law? And I know that's a hard thing to say. I'm not in the position to make that decision. I'm not over a church. But I did go power wash and pressure wash, and then I clear sealed the bricks on the church that I grew up in. And I seen that preacher, and I asked him, why did they close so easy? And he said, well, we did it for the elderly and things of that nature. And I said, I just don't get it. To him as well. Now, that's easy for me to say when I'm sitting behind a camera, talking to a screen, and I'm not actually having contact with anybody. But I'm out all day, and I have contact, and we're not going by any rules. Now, the day will come here in Mississippi that we will be shut down, probably next week, and we'll be locked down too, and they'll close the boat landing. People won't be able to go fishing. I know it's that way around the country. But the people around here have been taking advantage of the days. Now, some of them probably don't realize what's possibly coming. I will tell you this. If you have a plan and you're not implementing it, there was no point in you having a plan. Now, the point in that is, I believe that the Father in heaven created everything. My salvation comes from him through his Son that died on the cross and was resurrected by the Father in heaven. My confidence in going forth every day and sleeping peacefully at night, the peace that I have on a day-to-day comes from that. Now, knowing that changes a lot about the way I live. Every day we get up and we go about our life, because knowing what is coming, I think a lot about the parable of the wise and the unwise virgins. The wise virgins, they had oil for their lamps. To me, that is preparing. Now, whether it's oil or whether it's not, you never know what's going to happen. And people say, "Oh, it's going to start to get bad, and Jesus is going to take me out of here." Well, I don't buy into that. Or he wouldn't have said you're going to have tribulations. You're going to go through all this. He wouldn't have told us all that. But we're told to be prepared. We're told to pray to the Father for protection. And no matter how much evil takes over on this planet, the Father in heaven will cover you with the bubble and fill you with the Holy Spirit. All you have to do is ask. That's where my peace comes from. That's where my ability to get up and face the day and go out and deal with that comes from. If I get a virus that attacks my immune system and I die tomorrow, well, same thing could happen when I get in my truck and pull out here to the stop sign if the brakes fail. You see what I'm saying? I had a friend of mine that passed away last week, the ripe old age of, I think, 54, had a heart attack. SHTF for his family that day. Now, if I don't get up in the morning and live life tomorrow, there's no guarantee that I'm going to make it through tomorrow, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to die either. There's no guarantee that I'm going to die in a year. There's no guarantee that I'm going to die in 5. But there are guarantees that it's probably going to be some rough times. And I'll tell you where that comes from. I want all of y'all to know, if you're watching and you're not chatting, I go through the news and I go through tech news, and I do it kind of without being preachy. At the end, I get a little preachy because I believe this is the most important aspect of the times right now. This is what the most important thing for anybody to hear is. Now, I shared this with D-Live the other night. This is probably my favorite verse in the Bible. One of my favorite chapters. I'm not going to do the whole chapter, but it's John 16. I really like John 16. Correct, there are tons of martyrs. So I will say this. If you have buddies and friends and things of that nature, when you see them and you have an opportunity, stop. Say hello. Take that time with that relationship. It may be severed tomorrow. So I don't worry about the re-education camps. I don't worry about the FEMA camps. I plan for this, and when that time comes, it's hard to do, to sit down with your spouse and really say, what will we do when this time comes? We have children. And I don't mean sit down and joke about in the end days. I mean sit down and go, if this comes to this, what do we do? I heard some other people talking about that in their stream earlier. I think it was Richie and Nicholson. And because Richie was telling them about, and it's right, when you have children, you make different decisions. But when it comes down to a swab and a needle and those decisions, I'm not going down without a fight. We're not consenting. We're not rolling over. We're not taking it because of that. And I have to know that my peace and my rewards lie in heaven with the Father and not any man on earth. I think Mike shared this with me the other night. Psalm 118:8. It's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. In the end time, who are you going to put your confidence into? These men that are controlling the world do not care about you. They don't care about your heart. They don't care about your soul. They care about how much you consume, how much they can take out of you. They want to control you, and they will take any means necessary to do so. The numbers that die in the end are just a benefit to them. So I'll ask you again, who do you put your trust in? Jesus said, behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered every man to his own, and shall leave me alone. And yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. These things I have spoken unto you, that ye in me might have peace. That in me ye might have peace. Nothing else but me. In the world ye shall have tribulation. Okay, I went ahead and took the time to look up the term tribulation, and I want to read that to you. And look, there's a kitty on the screen. Definition of tribulation from Merriam-Webster. The people that we trust for the words. Now listen to this. Distress or suffering resulting from oppression or persecution. Also, a trying experience. Synonyms for tribulation: affliction, agony, anguish, distress, excruciation, hurt, misery, pain, rack, straits, torment, torture, travail, woe. So, in this world, you shall have affliction, agony, anguish, distress, excruciation, hurt, misery, pain, rack, strait, torment, torture, travail, woe. Really? But be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. Now check this out. I've had people ask me, when I read that to them, well, if I'm going to have that tribulation, why would I want to have anything to do with Jesus and deal with that? I said, because let me tell you something, brother. You will never have it told to you in your face, but whether you have Jesus or not, you're going to deal with, okay? Whether you have Jesus or not, you're going to deal with distress or suffering. You're going to deal with affliction, agony, anguish, distress, excruciation, hurt, misery, pain, rack, straits, torment, torture, travail, woe. What's coming right now and the pressure that's being put on everyone right now around the country and around the world is affliction, agony, anguish. The difference is they're having it put on them because they are a slave to a system, and we're having it put on us because we serve the Father in heaven that they despise. Luckily, our Father in heaven that we despise gives us an answer. Because we can build up, almost dropped my coffee. Because we can build up treasures in heaven and not worry about building them up in the world. Because of that, We can be of good cheer. When Christ died on that cross, looked Satan in the eye, fought, took the keys to death, hell, and the grave, resurrected because his Father resurrected him, preached with the holes in his hand, and then ascended to his side and sent back the Holy Spirit that is supposed to allow us to do greater things. Jesus said it, not me. I'm not making it up. Jesus said, because I send the Comforter, you should do greater things than I. Why are we not seeing that? I have overcome the world. We have a way out. Now, quickly, if there's anybody listening, if you're just watching and you're not chatting, and you don't have that peace, you don't know Christ, you don't know the Father, you don't know your Creator, well, let me tell you, anybody that has a child, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it because I've been it. If you're just a piece of crap and you do your children wrong, you're not going to get this. And there are people out there that do that. I pray for you. But if you love your child, that's the love that the Father has for every one of his children. And it doesn't matter if you turn around and come back and go, oh, what did you do? Or anything like that. When you make that first acknowledgement of your Father, I mean, hey, if I hadn't talked to my kid in years and the first time I seen him, he said, wow, you're a jerk. I'd be like, you know what? At least he spoke to me. We've opened up that conversation. That is our Father in heaven. He's just waiting on you to turn around and go, hey, maybe I need you, Dad. And he'll be there. Romans 10:9 says that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God hath raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. For with the heart man believeth unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. If you believe in your heart that the Father raised Christ from the dead, and you confess that with your mouth, you shall be saved. That's it. It's that simple. And I am a personal believer that Christ gave us the words when he told us how to pray, the Lord's Prayer. Now, this one printed says debts. I don't like that. I like the trespasses because he comes down and explains that. I believe that is part of your salvation. You ask God to forgive you of your sin, to take it and throw it away. And that don't mean you'll be perfect. I'm so far from it. I have every day, probably 10 times a day, I have to stop, bow my head and go, I'm so sorry, Father. Because I realize how big an idiot I'm being. But we're not perfect. We got that spirit of Adam, the rebel in us. But where it says, forgive men and their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. So that's the reason I say that now. And I tell people, even a lot of times at night, I recite this prayer. And a lot of times when I got away from my prayer life, I came back to this prayer because it helps you to build that relationship. I believe Jesus gave this prayer to us for that relationship building. Because he made it real simple. He's like, hey, guys, even though you're going to go through and tell him everything that you need, he already knows. So, just tell everybody, just go and tell him, hey, I know you know what I need. You know my heart. You can read my heart. This is it, Father. And you pray this. I mean, God gave you this prayer to pray. Bingo. So tonight, I will tell you now, I'm going to start our prayer with the Lord's Prayer. If you don't know Christ and you would like to know Christ, Believe in your heart that the Father raised him from the dead. Profess it with your mouth. And do, try to find a good group of people to communicate with that are the church. They're a great group of people that show up at my D live streams at night. And that's basically what we do, is get together to have fellowship. I go over the news of the day to put out the propaganda. I get mad about it and angry about it. I go through my therapy, and then we talk about the good news and the answers to the things that we have. So, if y'all have any specific requests, you can put them in chat, and we're going to ask the Father to see them. Good night, T. Luke. I actually prepared to be able to stream tonight. I actually took a nap earlier because I could. I got my garden tilled up. I've got a lot of stuff ready in case I get put on the mandatory lockdown, because I'm probably going to end up in trouble, y'all. I hope to film it. Maybe it'll make a great video. I'm not good at obeying the rules. I will tell y'all this quick prison story. There was a sign that said "Stay off the grass," and I would walk on the grass because I have feet problems. And they'd always be like, "You need to get off the grass." I'm like, "Hey man, if I could get off the grass, I wouldn't be in prison." What, you think I'm here because I was like singing too loud in Sunday school or something? I don't do well, so we'll see how that goes. I sent a. Oh my goodness, your big toe, you broke it. That's horrible. Remind me some night on D Live, and I will tell y'all some stories about some bad toe problems. I'm still dealing with them, but I'm happy, I found the answer. I knew it when I was younger, but I just really never found it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got a link to my D Live channel below. It's so that's that down there. I like to go to D Live because I can play some mainstream music. We don't get in trouble for it. I love to play Striper and Petra, and then even I play some things that I consider activism music. But you won't hear anything dirty. There's nothing that you couldn't have your child in the room. I promise you that. That's just the way I do that. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start this prayer with the Lord's Prayer. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to call it out. If you want to, follow along, and then we'll pray over the chat and say our exits. Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Father, I thank you for the time together with everybody tonight. I thank you for the fellowship and the good time, and I ask you to be with everyone and bless them, and continue to mount us all with the full armor and the ability to speak boldly and proclaim the gospel as we go. Father, we're going to hit a lot of fiery darts from the devil, and we can't do this without the strength and protection from you. Father, we pray that you'll believe the relief from the toe pain on the big toe, and I pray that Believe's cousin would be able to get this treatment that they so desperately need, or you be the one to take care of it. You are the great physician. And Father, we know that you can absolutely heal this, so be it, if it's in your will. Father, I pray for all the leaders of the country. I pray that you lay it on their heart, the evil that they do, so that they have to deal with it in their conscience and know that they are making decisions directly against you, directly against their people, and that they have to know exactly what comes from it. I pray for all of the people that are affected. I pray I pray that you send the Holy Spirit to send a blanket of peace across our country. Not for the pandemic, but for the people. For the people that would go lose their faith or would start the problems. I pray for a country of people that help each other instead of a country of people that hurt each other. But all in all, Father, I know that all these things have to come together for your will. So for all of us that are asking for it, I pray for that protection. I pray for that bubble over us. I pray for it over our families. Because I know all these things have to happen. And I pray for you to protect us all during these. Anything I missed in the chat, I pray that you see it and you know it. And you bless them, touch them, and heal them, Father. Now thank you for it all. It's in your Son's name I pray. Excuse me. Okay, everybody. Fixing to go do something over at DLive. I have a patent that I was holding back. I'm gonna give y'all one little peek at it, and then we're gonna go over to DLive, and I'm gonna go over it, and it will be in my stream. The next one I do on YouTube. I plan on doing quite a few of them if I get locked down. I just had a lot of work to do to get that deal. Now check this out. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. This is next to this. Okay, y'all ready for this? Well, let me do it this way. I'll do this page. Let me blow it up a little bit, make it a little better for y'all to see. Charged seed cloud as a method for increasing particle collisions and for scavenging airborne biological agents and other contaminants. It's a system for using chemtrails. Good night, Mike. Much love to you, brother. Much love to you all. It's a patent for chemtrails that pull biologicals out of the air. So that's one thing I'll talk about over there, and we'll play some music, and we'll have our regular intros. Look, I want to tell you all, I appreciate you coming to hang out with me on a Friday night at YouTube, especially kind of unexpected. I never have a normal streaming schedule, so the fact that anybody shows up is amazing to me. DLive is a gaming platform that's just a lot more fun to stream on than YouTube is, and I don't do it for the views. I don't do it for monetization. I do it to share information and have a good time with my friends, and I have a lot more fun doing it over there. But every once in a while, if I miss YouTube a lot, I come over here and share a bunch of the information I've been finding so I can clear it off my computer. I appreciate all you guys. Believe, Kirk, Mike, South Florida DCL, Mad Jeeper, Tara, Batista, No Spin Bear, Casual Preparedness, y'all. It was great being over here, and I hope to get to spend more time with y'all since we're all locked up, locked down. Look, no fear, guys. They got the foot on our throat, but we have the answer in Christ. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Now I'm gonna see if I can get my outro to work, and I will see all of you people. Hopefully in just a few minutes. And it's probably just going to be a little jam session. Give away some lemon. And give me about 5 minutes to get the swap over done. Night, guys. I love you all.